Hello and welcome to one and all. I am Miss Premal Popat and today we are going to continue with the same chapter, Effects of Electric Current from Science and Technology Part 1. This is a topic from 10th standard and today we are going to study the module 6, which is electric motor, in the same chapter. So let's move on with the topic. We know that for an object to perform work, it needs some energy, right? And this energy is obtained by the object through various means. We also know that the energy obtained by the object is transformed from one form to another. That is the law of conservation of energy, which is the energy is neither created nor destroyed, but is transferred from one object to another. Now this law of conservation of energy is going to be used in this electric motor, and we will see in our next slide how the energy in the electric motor is transformed from one form to another. On the screen we see an image of an electric motor, and this electric motor is used in many types of machinery, like in small machinery or in big machinery. And as I said in the previous slide, that the energy is converted in this electric motor. So in this electric motor, the electrical energy is converted to the mechanical energy. The input is given as the electrical energy, and the output, which is given by the electric motor, is the mechanical energy. Okay. Now the parameters of the electrical energy are as follows. We all know, and in fact we are studying in this chapter the parameters of electrical energy, which are voltage and current. So voltage is measured in volts and current is measured in amperes. Okay. So these are the parameters of the electrical energy, which is the input given to the electric motor. And the parameters of the output, that is the mechanical energy, is the torque and the speed. So the meaning of torque is it's a force that causes a machinery or an object to rotate or turn around. Okay, so basically for now we'll just understand that torque is a force due to which the machine or an object can rotate, and it is measured in Newton meters. And speed, we all know what is speed, right? And it is measured in RPM. RPM is revolution per minute. What is revolutions per minute? It is basically nothing but a measure of how fast any machine is operating at a given time. Like how fast a machine is moving at a given amount of time. So these are the parameters of the mechanical energy. So in electric motor, we have to keep in mind and understand that the electrical energy is converted into the mechanical energy. Uses of electric motor. Now we are looking at the uses because it will make us to understand where all these electric motors are used. Okay, and we can visualize it, and it will help us to understand in detail, and also it becomes easy for us to understand the things about electric motor. So motors have a wide variety of uses and are found in cars, clocks, drills, fans, fridges, etc. So on the screen we see a GIF image of a fan. So when we switch on the button, the fan rotates, right? It is because of this electric motor. So there is a motor which is inside the fan, and when the electricity is passed through this motor, this energy, that is the electrical energy, is converted to mechanical energy due to which the fan rotates and we get breeze. Similarly, in this second image, we see two types of brushes. On the left part, we see a normal brush which we use every day. Like I have marked this with yellow line. And on the right hand part, we see the electric brush. And I have marked this with red line. So what happens is, normal brush we use our hand and then we brush our teeth, right? Now this electric brush, we use our hand to brush our teeth in the electric by using this electric brush, but it just rotates inside our mouth and all the dirt comes outside. Okay, so this electric motor is also used in electric brushes. Similarly, it is used in hair dryers, vacuum cleaners, water pumps, washing machine, hard disk drives, DVD players, electric vehicles. So we can say that this electric motor has a wide range of uses and it is used in many places. Now let us study how exactly this electric motor works. Before moving on with the working of an electric motor, let us understand the construction, like what all parts are used in the electric motor. So the construction of an electric motor. So in the electric motor, there is the armature coil. Okay. So over here, we see the armature coil, which is rectangular in shape, that is A, B, C, D. Okay. And I'll mark this. So this is the armature coil. Okay. And this armature coil, so it is in a coil form, right? The wire is in a coil form, that is, it has a large number of tons of an insulated copper wire wound on an iron core. So inside this armature coil there is a iron core which is blue color, right? Blue in color, and we can see the same in the picture itself. And the second part is, there is a strong magnet. So we can see the north pole of the magnet and the south pole, and this I have marked with red color. There is a north pole and a south pole, and these both magnets are curved in shape. Okay, and this armature coil is placed between this two pole pieces, okay, between the north pole and the south pole. Why this armature coil is placed between the north pole and south pole of a magnet? It is because this magnet provides a strong magnetic field. Okay, and electric motor needs a strong magnetic field. We will see it later why it needs that. So also on the two pictures which are seen, which can be seen on the screen. So if we look at the right hand side picture, this picture is quite simple. So these curved magnets, which I have marked in red color, these are the stator magnets. Students, by the way, this strong magnets are also known as stator magnets. And inside the stator magnets, there is the armature coil. Okay. The third one is a split ring commutator. Why is it a split ring? Because the ring is not oval, like the loop is not completed. There is a partition between two half rings. Okay, so it consists of two halves, R1 and R2. So on the screen we see R1 and R2, which I have marked with blue color. This will make us understand, okay, in detail. So it consists of two halves, R1 and R2, of a metallic ring. Okay, the object is metallic. The ends of the armature coil are connected to direction of current in the armature coil. So this ends of the armature coil are connected to R1 and R2. Also there are brushes two carbon brushes B1 and B2 which are used to press the commutator. So over here, this I will mark the brushes, I will mark with green color. So I will use this green color, and so these are nothing but two brushes B1 and B2, and these brushes are just placed adjacent to the split ring commutator. Okay, and these brushes are used to press the commutator. Like on the right hand side also we can see two brushes which are brown in color. Okay, and here there is a commutator, and these brushes are just kept adjacent to the commutator. Also, these brushes are connected to the battery. So the battery supplies the current to the armature coil, and in this way the circuit is completed and the armature coil gets the current, and the mechanical energy is produced as an output by an electric motor. So this is nothing but the construction of electric motor. Now let us understand how these parts actually work. Principle of an electric motor. Electric motor works on the principle that a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field experiences a force. Now students, in the previous module we have studied that a force is acted on a current carrying conductor when it is placed in a magnetic field. Like we have seen that when the current is passed through the conductor in a magnetic field, the wire bends in various positions, right? Similarly, in our case also, the armature coil is placed between the pole pieces of a magnet, right? So it is placed in a magnetic field, and when the current is passed through this coil, force is acted on this coil. Like in the working we will see how. So this electric motor is based on the same principle. So now let's study the working of an electric motor. So on the screen we see the image of all the parts of an electric motor. We see an armature coil ABCD. We see the stator magnets, that is the two end poles of the magnet, north pole and south pole, which are red and blue in color. We also see a battery. These are the split rings which I have marked in green color, and there are brushes X and Y. The split rings are P and Q. So the positive terminal of the battery is connected to X, that is the brush X, and the current enters through this brush X. It goes through AB CD, the armature coil, and comes through Y. So ABCD is in horizontal position as we see in the picture. So the current from the battery enters the coil through brush X, which I have explained it earlier, and commutator half ring X. So this so there are two rings, two half rings, which is the commutator, ring X and half ring P and half ring Q. These are also known as split rings. So the current enters through X, through ABCD, and leaves through Y. So the current flows in the direction ABCD. Why the current flows through ABCD? Because the current flows from positive to negative terminal of the battery, that is through the convention. Okay, this is the conventional current. Since it moves from the positive terminal of the battery, it enters through X, that is through ABCD, and leaves the ring and brush Q, right? So during this time, the force on side AB of the coil is in the downward directions. Now students, in the previous module we have studied about the force acting on the current carrying conductor, which is placed in a magnetic field, and this force can be obtained by Fleming's left hand rule. Let us revise what is exactly Fleming's left hand rule. So on the right hand side of a screen we see the picture of a hand. The middle finger shows the direction of the current, right? So this is the direction of the current, which I have marked in black color. The index finger shows the direction of the magnetic field, and I am representing this magnetic field by B, which is in this direction. I have marked with arrow. And so when this direction of the current and the direction of the magnetic field are known to us, your thumb, that is the thumb of the left hand, shows the direction of the force. Now this force I will mark in blue color. Okay. Now students, in this case, which is the direction of the current? The direction of the current is through AB. Okay, now the current is flowing through AB first, right? So the direction of the current is in the forward direction, and on the screen, that is in the picture, the direction of the current is showed in the forward direction, and I am showing this direction of the current by an arrow, which is in the forward direction, right? Where is the direction of the magnetic field? It is perpendicular to the current. Now in the picture, the direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the current, right? It is same as the working of an electric motor. So we know the direction of the current and direction of the magnetic field, and these two things are perpendicular to each other. So when we know this directions, that is the direction of the current and the magnetic field, the direction of the force will be given by the thumb. So where is the thumb pointing? It is pointing in the downward direction. So students, in this case the force will act in the downward direction. Why? Because the current is in the forward direction and the magnetic field is perpendicular to the current, that is horizontal. So the direction of the force will be in the downward direction, right? And this is given by the Fleming's left hand rule. So the force on the side AB, that is the armature coil AB, will be in the downward direction. So the AB will be pushed down. So the side of the armature coil, that is AB, will be pushed down since the force on the AB is in the downward direction. Whereas the force on CD of the coil is in the upward direction. But why the force on CD is in the upward direction? Let us understand this with the Fleming left hand rule. Now students, here first we will have to know the direction. Let me just erase this part. So students, now, okay, I have erased this. Now let us understand what happens on the side CD. So the current is flowing through CD, that is first it was through AB. Now it is moving through CD. So the current direction is shown by the middle finger, right? So now the current during the time AB, when the current was flowing through AB, it was in forward direction. Okay, now the current is flowing through CD. It is in the backward direction. I am just saying this for your understanding. Okay, so the direction of the current is shown by the middle finger, right? It is in the backward direction, that is pointing to us. Okay, now this I will mark with black color. So this is the direction of the current. Now the direction of the magnetic field is the same. It is in the horizontal direction and it is also perpendicular to the direction of the current, right? So this I am going to show with red color. Okay, now the Fleming's left hand rule. According to this rule, when the direction of the current and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, the direction of the force is perpendicular to both. Now in this case, the direction of the force is in the upward direction shown by the thumb, right? So this I will mark with blue color in the picture. Okay, so this direction of the force is in the upward direction, and due to this the side CD of the armature coil will move upward. So just imagine, students, we have a rectangle. Okay, AB, one side of the rectangle is moving, the left side of the rectangle is moving downward, that is AB, and the right side of the rectangle is moving upward. That means this coil ABCD is moving in which direction? ABCD is rotating in anti-clockwise direction when the current is passed through the circuit. Okay, so now here is a GIF image where we can see the direction of the rotation of the coil, right? So it is in anti-clockwise direction when the current flows. In the previous slide we saw that ABCD was rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Now students, this coil ABCD is connected to the brush X and split ring P. Okay, so basically there are two brushes X and Y and there are two split rings P and Q. So this ABCD coil is connected to two brushes X and Y and split rings P and Q, and these are split rings, that is there are two gaps between this split rings. Okay, and this whole thing is connected to a battery. So when the current flows, this ABCD rotates in anti-clockwise direction. Now students, while rotating, when the coil reaches the vertical position, so when this coil reaches the vertical position, that means the side AB is down and CD is up. So during this time, the brushes PQ will touch the gap between the commutator rings. Like in this figure, that is the GIF image, when ABCD is in the vertical position, the brushes which will touch the gap between the split rings. Okay, and when the brushes touch the gap between the split rings, the current to the coil is cut off, that is the flow of current is cut off. Now students, when the flow of current is cut off, this coil keeps on rotating. Why is this? It is because of moment of inertia. Like, I will give you an example where when I switch on the fan will rotate, right? But when I switch it off, the fan won't stop rotating at that same point of time because of its moment of inertia. Like there is, as we can see in this GIF image, there is a small gap. During that time the current will cut off, but the coil won't stop rotating, right? And when this gap is over, these brushes will again touch the commutator rings. So when this ABCD is in the vertical position, the brushes touch the gap between the split rings, right? During this time the current is cut off, but ABCD will continue to rotate and it will come to horizontal position again because of moment of inertia. Now students, over here this AB will come to the right side and CD will go to the left side. Okay, during this half rotation, so there is an half rotation where AB comes to right side and CD will move to the left side. So when the coil comes in this position, they will the brushes X and Y come in contact with Q and P, but during this time X will touch the brush Q and Y will touch the brush P. Why? Because of the positions of the split rings have changed. Okay, so during this time the direction of the current will reverse. Okay students, why? Because of the position of the split rings is reversed. Like initially the brush X was in contact with split ring P and the brush Y was in contact with split ring Q, as we can see in this picture. But now after the half rotation is over, the brush X will come in contact with split ring Q and the brush Y will come in contact with split ring P. So during this time the direction of the current will be reversed. Like earlier the current was flowing through A, B, C, D. Now the current will flow through Y, through D, C, B, A. So during this time the direction of force will also be reversed, right? Why? Because direction of the current is reversed. Now when AB is on the right side, earlier the force on AB was in downward direction, but according to Fleming's left hand rule, the force on AB will be in the upward direction when it is on the right side, and the force on CD will be in the downward direction when it is on the left side. So students, just understand that due to this direction of the force, that is now AB is rotating upwards and CD is rotating downwards, so the coil will continue to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction due to reversal of current. Like at every half rotation there will be reversal of current, and due to this there will be reversal of direction of force, and due to this coil will continue to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So the reversing of current in the coil is repeated after every half rotation, due to which the coil continue to rotate in anti-clockwise direction in our case as long as the current from the battery is passed through it. That means till the battery is alive, the coil will continue to rotate and the mechanical energy will be produced. Now students, in this picture we can see the axle. This is also known as shaft. Now an object, like for example say the fan will be connected to this axle. So due to which the blades of this fan will continue to rotate till there is current in this electric motor. In this way the electrical energy is converted to mechanical energy. We just have to keep in mind that the coil rotates and at every half rotation there is reversing of current, due to which the direction of the force is also reversed, and because of all these things the coil will continue to rotate, and due to this our object will also rotate. Students, if we have seen carefully in this diagram, we can see that the connecting wires coming from the battery are connected to the brushes first, okay, and then the split ring. So basically these connecting wires are connected to the brushes and the brushes is connected to the split rings, and then these two are connected to the coil, and then the current is passed. But why the connecting wires are connected to the brushes and not the split rings directly? Now students, like when the current is passed through the coil rotates, and along with the coil the split rings also rotates. So if the connecting wires were directly connected to the split rings, the wires would also rotate and there would be a mess. There would be not a proper flow of current, and the coil won't rotate properly, and the mechanical energy as input we would have not get. Over here the brushes remain intact, that is they are at the same position, only the split rings will rotate, and due to this the wires won't entangle among themselves, and the flow of current will be proper, and hence the process will go ahead in the right way, and due to this the mechanical energy as output will be produced. So that is why this connecting wires are connected to the brushes and not the split rings directly. So students, this was all about electric motors, where electrical energy is converted to mechanical energy, that is movement. Also students, these electric motors have wide range of uses, like it is used in many machineries and also objects. So in our next module, we will continue with the same chapter, effects of electric current. And for now, thank you all for your attention.